everybody. We are the Ramcast. I think.
Hi.
That is Sean. This is Alex. I am Savannah, the lovely host, and this is Landry. He was in the washing machine earlier. He's quite peculiar. Okay, so to get into a more serious headspace, because we are talking about mental health, we are going to be talking specifically about anxiety. And anxiety is defined by many different people, defined by many different psychologists, but it is just kind of worldwide known as kind of fear and or panic, as a very, very simple little baby term for it. And we're going to do a couple of questions to each other. We're all going to answer. We're all just going to give a couple of statistics because this is definitely a serious topic that not very many people talk about, or if they do, they don't actually have, all of the facts, or they don't really have everything in order. So why don't we start with the person who gave us this incredible idea, Sean.
Right, okay. So how am I starting this out? Just start asking questions?
Start asking some questions.
So, okay. What is everybody's definition of anxiety? My definition of it is that, it's just an overwhelming fear of, something bad to happen. I look at it in, that way because, I don't really know how else to explain it.
I guess mine would be, a feeling of, worry or nervousness or, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, personally, it's a little hard. I don't know. I'd go kind of more towards worry or just fear of maybe the unknown or just fear in general for me.
There's no real way for me to define anxiety because for me, it's so many things wrapped up in one. But I guess if I had to choose one word to describe it, it would be just panic.
That's fair.
Why'd it get so quiet? Oh my gosh.
Do each of you have anxiety? Are real anxious right now?
I'll be honest, I most definitely am. Every time I get on the Ramcast, it really is. Even if I know
yeah.
It's just a video. I think we all have that fear, just we're gonna say the wrong thing, then we won't be able to re-record it, and then all of that, So, I don't think this question really needs to be asked, but do each of us have anxiety, Do each of us?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be asked because I already asked it.
Yeah,
I have anxiety.
My point exactly.
My point anxiety. Yes.
My point anxiety.
Man, we got poets.
Alex,
Poets.
do you want to answer it?
Yeah, I have anxiety. I mean, it is always worrying when, you're somewhere new or having, 3 separate cameras being pointed at your face simultaneously. But, what else are there to say? Yeah, I do.
For me, I haven't been formally told I have anxiety, but I have a lot of people that surround me in my life that are they do have a diagnosis of anxiety, and I can see that I have a lot of the same traits as them, and I don't know, anxiety can kind of be different from person to person because some people can just, I guess, naturally have it, and then some people can gain anxiety through a bad childhood or childhood trauma, so it kind of depends, but I think I at least have a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, I do have anxiety. I was diagnosed with it in the 5th grade, but I'm sure I had it longer than that because I felt that way for much longer than the 5th grade.
Did each of us answer the second question to that, the why part?
Isn't it just to say medically or
No, it's why do you have anxiety?
Why do we
What
have
triggered
anxiety?
your anxiety, essentially?
because I'm nervous? I don't entirely know how to answer that.
that's fine. Not everybody
Oh.
understands their own emotions.
I don't really think there really necessarily needs to be a why we have anxiety. Like, I mean, people just have it. Sometimes there isn't really a why. Sometimes, I mean, it's something that definitely is. I mean, it can be even like, you know, just it comes along with a different diagnosis or something. You know, there's a whole bunch of reasons why people get anxiety.
For me, I at least can answer the why part out of all of us, I think. Because I love my family to death. I love them so much. They've done a lot for me. I really appreciate them for just being there for me no matter what. But I, growing up, had my dad who was an extremely worried guy. And he was just constantly worried all of the time. And he would show me articles from time to time of girls my age, girls in Missouri, or girls who were in a different county that would go missing, or they would get kidnapped, or they would be found dead. And that would fuel my anxiety of going out in public. And it's a big reason why sometimes I can't go in public by myself, or it's a big reason why I can't, I don't know, even order my own food or talk to people in public, because I just get so nervous or anxious talking to somebody. I'll drive and I'll keep my eyes on the road, of course. I won't be fooling around on the road, but I'll keep my eyes on the road and on my rearview mirror at the same time, because I'm so anxious that one day I'm going to see the same car following me, and I'm going to have to remember what to do from all the cop shows I've watched as a kid to figure out, okay, if I take this road, I can take this other road, get this to this road, then I can be away from them, and hopefully they'll get off of my trail. For me, it's a thing of I have gained anxiety through an anxious person, and it's kind of stressful and scary.
When I was diagnosed with anxiety, part of it comes with being diagnosed with ADHD, but the biggest part that caused my anxiety was since the second grade, I had a teacher that just hated me. No matter what I did, she just hated me, just did everything she could to make me miserable. And I think part of it came because I intimidated her, because as a second grader, second, third, fourth grader, all those years, I was taller than her. I hit my growth spurt way before I should have. So while she sat at 5'1", I idled at 5'2", 5'3" in like the fourth grade. And I guess she didn't like that. But she just, in blunt terms, make my life a living hell. And whenever I got to the fifth grade and I heard that I didn't have her anymore, I was really excited, because I'm like, you know what, this is going to make a brand new start at this school. But that's not what happened. I got another teacher that was in cahoots with that one. And she had a motto of which child's life can I make miserable this year? And for the fourth year in a row, that child happened to be me. And it got so bad that whenever they would punish me, we had 2 points that we could get taken away from us and we couldn't get back. And it got to the point where, because my ADHD was not as checked as it should have been, and I was a little bit wilder than the other kids, they got to the point where instead of taking away my points, they would just instantly write me a referral. And I would be down in the principal's office once or twice a week, because the principal himself told him, just write him a referral. Don't even put him by the normal standards, just write him a referral. And I got such bad anxiety from that for about 2 years straight, I would go home and I would cry and just wish that I could die in my sleep. That's how bad my anxiety got with them. But thankfully, in the sixth grade, I got brand new teachers who treated me like I was their own child. And when I got to high school, I saw them again, and because of how well they treated me, I almost started crying right in front of them when I saw them again, because they gave me a brand new perspective on school.
Can I add on to my answer?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, okay, so I do actually, I guess, kind of have a reason why I have anxiety just now thinking about it. You know, since I was young, when I was 5, my parents, well, no, I was 4. When I was 4, my parents got divorced. And my dad, he had never been really a great person. And since my parents got divorced, that meant now I was going to have unsupervised visits alone with my father. And he was an alcoholic, and he still, he did do a lot of drugs. He did a lot of pain medication, and he had this one girlfriend that he would physically abuse all the time in front of me, would throw her into stuff in front of me. And then when I would try to say something, like try to get him to stop, he would yell at me and then threaten to do the same thing to me. So I guess that's kind of my reason for anxiety. Like, I go into restaurants, I can't even order food, I can't. I don't like doing anything on my own. It's hard for me. So I think that's definitely, a good reason why I have anxiety.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate this real quick because these are some heavy topics. This is a safe space. A word that you say could help another person who has gone through something similar, something recent, or somebody could see some of the things that we're saying in themselves or their friends, and they can link it to, the idea of maybe I need to go to the school counselor. Not even at our school, this could reach another school, and they could reach out to their counselor and have a discussion and kind of try to learn how to not handle their anxiety, because there's not really a way to handle it, but a way to understand it better and to just know themselves better. And I will say, Landry, what you both went through was horrible. Nobody should ever have to go through either of that. And I will say I have a story that's for a completely different time where I almost cried whenever seeing a teacher for the first time. So I know that feeling deeply. And I know that both of you have some very heavy wounds. And if you guys feel like you don't want, and this even can go on to you, Alex, if you guys have something that you think would add to this, but you don't really want to talk about it in front of the cameras, that is completely okay. Because like I said, this is a safe space. If there's something that you just kind of want to say, I do have something of this that I would like to mention, but I won't mention it right now, that is perfectly fine. You can say that and we'll just skip your turn for right now. Just because some of this can get really heavy, really deep, and emotional. So, since we are on time constraint, we do gotta keep the ball rolling. So how are we each affected with our school life with anxiety?
Shoot, where should I even start?
Should I go so you can get some time to ruminate?
Well, no, I have ideas. I was just saying that, where should I even start, First of all, deadlines. Deadlines for everything. That always makes me anxious in school. Plus, just people. They're rude and mean sometimes, and not understanding, including teachers. They're sometimes rude and not understanding, So it's just like, that definitely causes a problem with communication, which can lead to problems with your grade going down and stuff like that. And then with your grades going down, then that's going to cause a problem at home, probably. I mean, for some people, it'll cause a problem at home because some people have strict parents that, only want perfect grades and all of that. So I think that's definitely how it affects my life.
Well, to me, I don't know if this is strictly anxiety, but pessimism, like just expecting the worst. Like, if you're just completely unsure about an answer, it's like, what if I just get this all wrong and just all bad, and So.
I'd say that fits in it, because I think it is. I know that this is true for at least for me, but my anxiety makes me definitely more of a pessimist. And I've been lucky enough to try and work on it enough to make me so that I am more optimistic. But for me, it kind of affects my school life with, it's not noticeable because I've been working on myself for a little bit, trying to make myself the better version of myself that I can see I can become. But like I will make one small, tiny, minute mistake, and it might not even be a mistake. It could be just something small and something different that I do that makes me super anxious, and it makes my heart just drop to the floor and shatter. And I'm just sitting there like, oh God, I think I did something bad, I think I messed up, and it's just a train, like a derailing train in my head, and it's constantly going, I messed up, I made a mistake, and like my close friends can see it on my face, and they would instantly know. They would be like, okay, you're not acting normal. But my not as close friends, they aren't gonna see it as well, because I have been trying to work on myself and trying to become better. Andrew?
Shoot, where should I begin? This is affecting me so horrifically that it's not even affecting just me anymore. It's affecting all my friends too, because I've been with my anxiety and how I've been treated at school. I've just become so not in control that it scares me when things happen, because they are no longer in my control, and I really just want to have control over it, and I want to have control. I want to have complete control. And when I throw that onto my friends, I'm trying to control them. They're not mine to control, but I end up doing that anyway. And it ends up pushing everything off on them. I've lost friends because of this, where I've pushed too hard or I've controlled too much. And I lost somebody recently because I pushed too hard. And it also goes into thinking I'm not good enough. They don't deserve what I give them. I don't give them enough. I just every day is a fight to tell yourself, you're fine. Your friends are around you because they want to be around you. It's just when you spend so much time being told that you aren't good enough, and that gives you anxiety into thinking all these horrible things about yourself, you struggle with the fact that maybe you are enough, but you're never going to believe it.
Just to keep moving on to the next question. Like I said, we do have like the time restraint of like 4 o'clock-ish.
Yeah.
Not like I'm trying to steamroll over anybody's emotions. I just want to point that out of 4 o'clock is our deadline. So I don't want us to like get too into this. But we can go back to questions and re-answer them with detail if we need to. Landry, why don't you ask this question?
What are some methods you use to help yourself with your anxiety?
Okay. I only have one word: music. Music 24/7, like just all the time, constantly. I feel like in a way, like music is just kind of my way of just blocking out the entire world itself from just giving me, anxiety and putting pressure on me. I can't handle like pressure at all, and I guess that's what you could also call anxiety.
So escapism.
Pretty much, it is pretty much like an escape for me. Or recently I've been writing a lot of poetry. I guess I could say that too, so it helps with my anxiety. But I think like the whole year last year I got like 100,000 minutes on my Spotify, so I definitely listen to a lot of music. No.
Really, the only one I can think of right now is just to really accept it. Mostly because, like, all these anxious things, like, yeah, they could happen, and you just sometimes just gotta accept that. I don't even know if this is healthy or not, but like, all this awful thing is like, yeah, it's going on, but what can you do about it?
I mean, let's be honest. Are we really even that healthy? We're high schoolers. We're teenagers. How healthy can they be?
And also, one important thing is this is not like mental advice.
Yeah, we are not.
We are not therapy
we are not-
therapists.
We are not therapizing anybody. We are not therapizing ourselves. We are simply just stating our emotions, how we feel, what they do to us, why we don't understand them, things of that nature.
We have anxiety for a reason.
And another one is jokes.
kind of bring some lightheartedness into this probably a couple times, yeah. For me, it's definitely the escapism with music, because I've been doing that since I was super little, of just playing music as loud as I can, and I think it's starting to cause me to lose my hearing, so that's a cool idea. Another few things that I do that, it's something only I notice, but whenever I say it, it'll become really very obvious to anyone who will ever watch a Ramcast episode ever that I'm in. Even back to the old episodes from last year, this will become extremely obvious to everybody. And I'm going to put myself out here, but it's for a good reason. But whenever I am anxious, I will play with my hair a lot, or I will tap my feet, or I will spin, or play with jewelry that I have on. And I have been doing that this entire episode because as much as I absolutely adore being on camera or being, or talking for a little bit or doing whatever with the Ramcast, I am extremely anxious every time that we get behind the camera. I just hide it as well as I can. So I play with my hair, or I spin in my chair like I'm not supposed to, or doing things of that nature. I really try to stop spinning the chair. I stopped. I've been trying. I'm noticing.
So just like fidgeting?
Yes, I
Yeah.
definitely fidget a lot.
Probably the reason people fidget is probably just either the repetitive motion or.
I mean, I know that I have fidgeting at least with rocking back and forth or some kind of motion back and forth. But it depends on where I am. Like a swivel chair, I'll go back and forth. In a sitting position on like my bed, I'll go frontwards, backwards.
Pretty much all of you guys have said it, but music is one of the biggest ways that I can escape from everything, and you guys have pretty much covered the reasons on that, so I won't go into that one. But another one is just comedy. If you guys know me at all, you will know that I pop jokes left and right, and albeit some of them aren't appropriate for the time or the place or just at all, laughing just makes the pain go away sometimes.
Laughter is the best medicine in the world. Here,
I don't think
here, I'll do
now's
it.
Thank you.
I was gonna say I don't know
What?
if now's the appropriate time.
Oh,
yeah.
Anxiety, yeah, we're mentally ill.
I mean, it works.
See what we mean?
We're getting our humor in for
We're
the day.
definitely not anxious right now.
We're getting our
Oh,
hee-haws
no.
and hee-haws in.
I'm actually quite calm for this, surprisingly enough.
I mean,
Landry is the
I
only
mean,
calm one.
we can make the reference of Golston was talking to us about doing this episode with one of our classmate guests, and he worded it so weirdly, and we were making the joke, yes, we'll give him an anxiety attack. That's how we show off anxiety.
Here. I can give everybody anxiety right now. I can give everybody anxiety right now. Let's talk about taxes.
I thought
Ooh, yay, my favorite.
I thought you were gonna mention the drama.
The drama.
All right, let's go.
Let's talk about what? Nope.
No, let's go on. Let's move on.
Let's go on.
Yeah.
Alex, why don't you ask this one?
Well, is the breathing technique helpful for everyone? You hold for 4 seconds and you exhale for 4 seconds.
No.
Same here.
I've never
No.
used it in my life.
I
only learned of it whenever Macy told me about it whenever we were writing these questions, and I was like, what's that? And she basically was looking like she was going to smack me upside the head.
Okay, can I just add really quickly? When I'm already feeling like I'm like suffocating, I don't want to hold my breath for 4 seconds. Like, I don't want to like slow down my breathing. I already feel horrible and I already feel like I can't breathe, and then you're telling me to hold this in for 4 seconds? I want to like feel like I'm breathing, please.
Landry?
No, that one hasn't really worked for me, but if you don't mind, I do have some grounding techniques that I have found to proven to have worked. If it would be good to share it with everybody.
Yeah, and I think I know what you're going to talk about, because
The-
my therapist has told me a couple times
The
about it.
first one, and a lot of people have heard about this one, and I've tried it before. It works for me. Is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule? It is 5 things you can see around you. If everyone wants to count out 5 things real quick that they see, and then
Camera, and then Bennett.
All right. And then you
anxiety-filled humans.
Oh, yeah.
Chairs.
That's 4. Hold on. Cameron, Bennett, Jack.
All right. And then it was 4 things that you can touch around you. So I can touch my shirt. I can touch myself. I can touch this mic. I can touch this weirdo sitting on my left.
There you go.
And the next thing is 3 things that you can hear.
Anxiety-filled humans.
Squeaky chair.
And then it's 2 things that you can smell.
You guys can smell?
And then the last one is 1 thing that you can taste. And yes, if you have to lick yourself, that is 1 thing that you can taste.
I mean, that is one way to get out of anxiety.
I literally just
You guys want to know what helps with my anxiety?
skin.
Break.
Chug.
Oh my gosh, no!
Break.
Look,
No.
seriously, I feel like one thing you could
Now
do
available.
is
Not the anxiety documentary. Come on.
if, like, one thing, I don't entirely know if this would help, but if you see, like, one of your friends, like, you know, being a bit anxious, you could try just saying something really confusing, like, something like, did you pet the salamander? And
Huh?
that would just put their mind...
Just something so
That would
outrageous
give
to
me
take
more
their mind.
anxiety because I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, it would just confuse them so hard that
Yes.
they would not worry about what they're previously anxious on.
Not for
But then I'd be even more anxious about what you're asking me.
Where's
Not
the
for myself.
Did I
salamander?
pet the salamander?
Your logic does not work.
Your logic is very.
Once
it's-
again, we are not actual therapists.
Do not follow that advice, but it is very funny advice.
And the main thing you can do if you have a friend that's going through a panic attack or just a breakdown is just be there for them. You don't even have to say anything to them. You could just sit there. They're okay with it. Place your hand on them. Just let them know that you're there.
Yeah, that's a very good way to end this. You know, after all of our hee-haws and ha-hees, after all of our jokes, we are very sincere in the fact that anxiety is a very real problem, not just in our school, not just high schools, across not the nation, but the world. It is a big problem that sometimes not everybody talks about the most, and it is a problem that a lot of people face in this world. And you know, now you know what to do. There's the breathing technique that can work for some. There is the grounding technique that Landry had brought up. And there's a lot of other ways that you can look online to help other people. And some people have created their own. So what you can do is just learn from them or help others with what you know now and kind of grow and help the world grow. So what do you guys say? You think that was a good ending?
I think
Are we
People.
still on
We gotta-
air,
We gotta
or...
thank
Well,
everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, is have us all do it.
Okay.
Since there's no guest and no host.
Thanks, me.
I thank myself and myself only because I'm obviously the coolest.
I
know
thank
what?
myself
I
and myself
obviously-
only because because I don't want to make you guys anxious because you're getting thanked.
Okay.
obviously-
Well-
You two are done with yours.
while we are here and we can thank ourselves, the main people we would like to thank is the people watching this video, because you're devoting your time of the day to watch us talk about something that needs to be addressed, and we're very thankful that you are willing to spend your time listening to us talk about this.
Yeah, so
And if you guys have anything you want to say about what we've talked about, if there's anything you want to add, or if there's something that we may have gotten wrong about what we were talking about, feel free to leave it in the comments down below.
and you never know who's gonna be in those comments, because you might just help somebody with a problem that they've been dealing with for years. So I want to thank not just our viewers, but I want to thank you guys for being here today and stepping in. And I want to thank our lovely people in the room. You don't need to turn to them.
Do
Don't.
not.
Don't turn to them.
Turn to Macy, please do it.
Do
Don't.
not.
Do not.
Jack,
I will
do
pay
not.
you. I will pay you.
Okay,
20
thank you.
bucks. I will pay
No,
20 bucks.
Alex. I would like to thank our wonderful people in the room over there. Yeah, I would love to thank our lovely people in the room over there, our lovely host guests for the day, for stepping in. You lovely viewers, like Landry said, just taking the time is incredible. Our camera guys, Jack and Bennett, Golson for just creating AV Club. Just thank everybody. If you haven't said the words thank you to somebody today, go say it. And I think that was our very special anxiety cast.
Woo.
Thanks for watching.
Uh,
Hello, everyone. I'm Landry. You just saw me here on the Ramcast. We were talking about our anxiety, and while we wrapped up that segment, I wanted to talk a little bit more and give some encouraging words for you. If you are seeing this, I would assume you have anxiety. And as someone else with anxiety, you're probably thinking or have thought at some point, I'm not good enough, or what if this happens, or what if that happens, or maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I don't deserve this. What if this happens? Everyone would just be better off without me. Stop thinking that way. Because let me tell you, you are enough. Do you think you're enough? Because you don't have to answer that. Because that shouldn't be what you answer. Asking yourself if you're enough is not an answer that you can give. That's something else everybody around you gives. You are enough, okay? You are enough, and no matter what anyone says, no matter what that anxiety tells you, don't listen to that anxiety. You may be thinking, well, it's just always there. I don't know what else to think besides that. Don't let anxiety think for you. Think for yourself. Block that anxiety out. For once, I want you to do this with me, all right? I want you to say these words. I am enough. I can do this. No matter what people say, I am enough. If people didn't want to be around me, they wouldn't be around me. Okay? They just won't. It's all up to you to make yourself who you are. Don't let anxiety define you, because you are loved. You are loved and you matter. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Because if you keep thinking that way for yourself, then that's a road you don't want to walk, and that's a road you'll never come back from. Don't take the road that I almost stumbled down. Find your way back to the golden road. Let your friends guide you down the road. The road to success, and the road to success you can compare to a stairway. But your first step is taller than you are. You've got to find a way to scale that first step. But once you get up that first step, it's like climbing up a normal staircase. Believe me, I've tried. It's a normal staircase after that first step. We care about you. We may not know you personally, but we know that there's somebody that cares about you. You may not choose not to believe that, and that's okay. Whether or not you believe that doesn't hold back the truth. The truth is, you matter, you're loved, and people care about you. So, the way I want to end this is, say these words with me. I am enough, and anxiety will not define me. I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.